Okay, 3, 2, 1. All right. Shop Class Podcast. We're back tonight, broadcasting from the actual shop, the high school shop. Ta-da! Hey, we got the English wheel right there. And there's a Polmax in the other room. I got to show you that. Yeah. Tonight we got a hot rodder. That's why I'm talking about sheet metal. We got Jim Johnsen. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me.
All right. And we got the regulars. We got Matt Bloomquist. He's on summer break, so he looks relaxed.
Dude, yeah.
I look like a ball of stress, so, you know. Duke's got the right thing on the wall. How you doing?
Yep, the end's in sight. We have a day and a half.
Okay.
Wrapping it up.
A day and a half.
Racing cars, taking apart robots. Kids wanted to make coat racks.
Oh.
Right to the end. It's crazy. It's always crazy.
I literally had a show tonight, like a show for science and industrial arts, and we just finished the show, and I'm like, oh my god, we got it tomorrow and the next day too. And we got Nick. Nick is in the shop, or he's not.
I'm at home. For once, I'm at home.
You're at home. Now, is that a picture of your shop at the school?
That's his house. That's his living room.
Yeah, it's my living room. I'll put up my computer room here.
Cool, man. Nice. I like it. And Jim's got the cool setup. He's got the bikes. He's got I see a lathe behind him. A lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, it's my cheap little MSC lathe, and this is my garage. It's my home project, and all my tools and everything else. It's not bad. It's a lot bigger than my last house, so it's nice. You know, all insulated. I got heat and AC out here, and TV and internet. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's nice.
You know, it's funny. The shop teachers, we live and breathe it, right? Yeah. You know, but like the English teachers, they don't write books or anything. It's like, wow, you know, like it'd be funny, like if the English teachers were like published authors or they wrote movies or something, that would make sense. Like, why are we the only subject matter? Us and artwork. Well, and the gym, believe it or not, gym teachers are usually, you know, like they went semi-pro at some point or something like that. You know, it's kind of funny. So anyway, but you know, we're glad to have you, Jim. This is a cool thing because I saw your Instagram, and you know, I love hot rods and whatnot. I think everybody's into cars, so I was like, whoa, check this out, man. That is so cool. And I remember you were heading to a car show, and you know, this stuff caught my eye. This is it right here. I mean, look at this thing right here. This is the coolest. Is that from ZZ Top? Did you steal that from the movie? Or
it's pretty much the same car. The Eliminator, the ZZ Top Eliminator with the graphics from the Legs video, and that's a 33, but this is a 34. They're very similar, but this is a fiberglass kit car.
Nice.
Yeah, and the car show, we had our car show at our high school. I guess it was 2 Sundays ago. We just invited everybody into town to come in and see what we're doing. And we've been doing it. I think that was our 6th show, and it was our best turnout. We had like a ton of people, and
wow.
Yeah, it's cool. We get a lot of former students come back with their cars, and it's a cool thing, and it's a lot of fun, and a lot of the community members show up, and it's a good time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, something that's kind of funny, we got to get out of the way right away, is you're in Long Beach, Long Island, New York.
Yes.
Not Long Beach, California.
Yeah. We're in Long Island. And it's funny, my friends in Oceanside, they're having their car show on Sunday, and that's Oceanside, New York. So we always put that hashtag up. My kids told me to use it because it helps to bring in people seeing it. So we had a bunch of people at the show who saw us on Instagram, and that's how they got to our car show, and there's all kinds of stuff on there. Long Beach is kind of a wild beach town. It's an awesome place.
Yeah, totally.
We were talking about the hashtag last week.
What's that?
We were talking about the hashtag last week. We were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
These guys
California and
pointed
New
it
York.
out. Yeah, Duke pointed it out. I thought you were in Long Beach, California.
No, we're up here on the Rust Coast, dealing with all the rot and rust. Luckily, this car is fiberglass, so not a whole lot of not any rust repair on this, which was a nice change from what we've been dealing with.
Now I see you got something that's one of my favorite things to do, which is engine turning.
Yeah. So we have like a full machine shop here at the high school too. We have 5 lathes, a bunch of old closings, and a new jet. We got a CNC plasma cutter, and we got a couple mills, and we actually have a foundry and a forge, which is pretty cool. And then full sheet metal. We just got a Bailey English wheel, similar to the one you have, I think.
Yeah, mine's a Mittler Brothers.
Okay. Yeah, ours is about it's about got like a 36-inch throat on it. So we do a lot of metal working, a lot of fabrication on all of our cars, and the engine turning, I just love it. Like I always think of the Spirit of St. Louis, the Charles Lindbergh plane that flew across the Atlantic, and I showed the kids pictures of it. And I'm like, let's do that. We'll do that on a dash, and we'll do it on a firewall, and we just kind of bring it all into the car. And they liked it, and it takes them forever to do it, and it's not as straight as it could be, but it's really good. They did a nice job with it.
That's cool. There's so many ways to do it too. You could do it by hand, but if you do it in a controlled manner, you can overlap them.
Yeah. I do it with like a stop pad, like a gasket cleaner.
Oh, okay.
It works pretty well.
Yeah, what were you gonna say, Duke?
You must be excited. You forgot our first question before we even jumped into English wheels and turning engines.
You know what? Duke's right. We got to back up. The first question I ask every guest, I completely skipped over and I forgot. You know what it is? I've been running nonstop all day. Oh my God.
I hear you.
All right, let's get the first question going. Thank you, Duke. The first question we ask everybody is.
No. Hold on. It's, do you have a Model A?
No, my father did a couple years ago. And,
no, I'm kidding.
But he did have a Model A. So
go ahead, Ron.
Tim's got a Model A. All right, this is the first, but that's a good question, Tim. I like that question.
I love Model A's. They're
hell yeah.
Yeah, good.
Right, the first question is, did you have shop class growing up?
Yeah. I lived in the shop. I actually got the tech award when I graduated high school. I'm still in pretty regular contact with my shop teacher. I'm a carpenter in the summers and on the weekends. And I've ended up working for my former teacher a whole bunch over the years and just kind of stay close to him. It's this guy named Pete Carbosi. He was a shop teacher in Sable. And he was awesome. He's just like such a cool guy. And we didn't have auto shop in our high school, but like me and my friends were all just diehard motorheads, and he would like come over your house, help you out, lend you tools, like help you out with things that like your dad didn't want you like to do to your car or your truck. Like he would help you out. And he's like a legendary guy and just someone that I wanted to be like. And he talked me into going to college. I had a pretty good job framing houses up on the North Shore and like Oyster Bay, where like Billy Joel's from or whatever. But it was a big company, and they kind of offered me like, you're not going to start out making a bunch of money, but we'll teach you how to be a foreman, and you'll be a framer. And I was like, that's all I wanted to do. And I had a girlfriend here, so I was like, all right, I'm going to stay home from college. I'm going to go right to work, and I'm going to get ahead of the game. And my father and Mr. Carbosi talked me into going to college, and it was the best thing I ever did.
Wow, nice.
So did you go to Oswego?
Yeah, Oswego. Yep.
What year?
I graduated in 2005.
Oh wow!
You came in when I was leaving.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've got couple guys I work with graduated in 2000. I guess 2005, 2001. So most of our teachers in Long Beach came from Oswego. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And currently we have 5 students, maybe 6, going to Oswego to be tech teachers out of our high school.
It's really good because I don't know if you've heard numbers up there. They're really down.
Yeah. It's last couple of years has been a little scary, but you know, I think with the resurgence of real hands-on classes and you know, people swinging hammers and turning wrenches to make money, I think it's a good thing, and I think we'll see it come back, and I think we'll see more like not so much traditional, but more, you know, old school hands-on tools being taught how to use, because you know, they're not really getting it from their parents anymore. You know, so someone's got to show them how to turn a wrench.
You know, and what was your major?
Technology education.
Oh, they have it. No kidding.
Yeah. It's one of the, I think it if not the first, it's one of the first like tech ed programs that you could go just for technology education. Way back in the day.
Did you guys see the Oswego Industrial Arts alumni page?
No.
No, I gotta be a part of that.
Oh, it's on Facebook.
Yeah.
Now, are you industrial arts certified?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you graduated, you were able to get a tech ed degree and a tech ed certification and an industrial arts certification?
It was all in one. As far as I know, in New York, when you graduated, I could have taught everything from keyboarding to photography and construction on the same job, on the same certification that I got when I left Oswego.
So in New Jersey, it was 2004, 2005. There was a technology education endorsement, and if you graduated before that time, you can get the endorsement for free without taking the practice exam. But when I graduated TCNJ, or the College of New Jersey, I graduated with an industrial arts certification. That's what my certification's in, industrial arts.
Really?
Yeah, and then I have a tech ed endorsement.
Yeah, I think I'm. If I honestly, I don't know if I ever even looked at my diploma. I know I have it, but I know I'm pretty sure it says tech ed on it.
It would be state. It wouldn't be like on my diploma. It doesn't say industrial arts. It just says Bachelor of Science and I think technology education or technological studies.
Yeah. Okay.
But like that would be through the state, through your certification programs and that kind of stuff. That's where it would be noted.
Yeah,
I've never noticed that myself.
Technology education sounds familiar to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's how it was done in New Jersey. But now, if you go to a teacher prep program for tech ed, you get your tech ed cert. It no longer includes industrial arts.
Really?
Yeah.
Is this it right? Is this it right here?
I'm on my phone. I can't see.
Yeah.
That's the one, right?
Yeah, that looks like the courses.
Oh, okay.
Something that was crazy though, when I was graduating college, like California was kind of headhunting in New York. I remember from Oswego, they wanted Oswego teachers out in California, and a bunch of my friends moving out there.
It was the same way when I was graduating.
Oh, really?
It was, right? Yeah, and I think I had 3 friends.
North Carolina,
moved out there.
California, Virginia.
Yeah,
we were getting bombarded by everything.
Yeah.
How many do they graduate per year? Did you guys mention that? Did I miss that?
That's the thing. When I graduated in 01, we had over 100 tech ed teachers.
Yeah, I think
in one graduating class?
Yeah.
It's a lot because, in New Jersey, it's like 15.
Yeah, but they guaranteed us jobs in 2000.
Oh, yeah, you get swept up right away, right?
Yeah.
There was no gap. Like, you had the job right away, right?
I had my pick, really.
I student taught on Long Island, and no offense, Jim, but my parents are from down there and everything, and I got roped into just do 30 years, and move upstate, and I grew up here, and I lasted a year down there, and so.
Yeah, I mean, with all my.
You don't like Long Island? What?
No, I like the beaches. That's it. I like going to Smith's Point. That's it.
Yeah, that's Smith's Point is why I'm building this square body truck here, because I was out there every day surfing and hanging out with my girlfriend, now wife, and that truck rotted through. Put your fist through the frame from being on Smith's Point all the time. The sand, and the salt water. But I have a bunch of friends from upstate. They're all motorheads and like, hillbillies with big giant mud trucks and things like that. And we still stay in touch, and they teach shop up there, and it's pretty cool. It's kind of universal, like a real shop class, like kind of like what I teach is it's just hands-on. So it's all over the place. It's good, and I wish I knew more about the other end of technology education, but I'm kind of down to my
do you
base.
send any of your kids to your VOTEC center or your BOCES center for
So
automotive, or is it just you as far as you're kind of the VOTEC of?
So we were sending kids to BOCES for automotive, but now we are CTE certified for automotive. So we're working our way into keeping our kids here to give them the same certification, so they can just stay with me for 3 years and get the same cert. But that's like, it's a work in progress, and it's definitely like, it's a good thing. I teach a 2-period class, so the kids get to stay with me instead of jumping on a bus and going to BOCES. And BOCES is awesome, but it works out for them better because they get to stay here. And the district too likes it because it's like 20 grand a kid for a year to send them to BOCES. Mm-hmm. So it saves the district some money. And we're also working on doing that for our our welding program. We teach MIG, TIG, and stick. We do a little AC, a little bit of everything. So we can give the kids kind of like the same education they'd get at BOCES right here at the high school. And the CTE thing, at least in New York, is I think it's going to be our ticket as industrial arts to kind of stay relevant.
Cement yourself in. Yeah, because my superintendent has approached me that for welding, and I think more carpentry, because that's all our county really offers in our BOCES program.
Well,
we do welding in my class, so he's like, well, could you do CTE welding? Yeah, if you pay for the program, like, as far as updating our equipment and giving us more. So
yeah, it's the welding program is huge. It's a big investment, but like we've had a bunch of kids who either went right into steam fitters. We can kind of work with them too, and this way they can just kind of walk into a job right out of school here.
Is this it right here?
And your proximity to the city is extra helpful as far as
that's huge. This is our program. This is our little website. We have a full wood shop too, which is our wood shop is unbelievable, and they pump out some beautiful stuff. We have a big TV program too with they do a live broadcast like news style for every day for the morning announcements. So we're like super lucky in Long Beach. Like they're really behind us and they back us, and
that's great.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I hit the jackpot.
Did you know of this school before you got the job there?
So Long Beach is right on the ocean. I used to go there to surf when I was a kid. And then
there you go.
I taught 2 years in Baldwin, which is on the other side of the bay. And my best friend upstate, Ian, his cousin works at Long Beach High School. He's one of the other tech teachers, and he told Ian, he's like, look, the job's going to open up for the auto shop and metal shop teacher. And when I got there, our shop was so if you can see where Long Beach Middle School is, it's the green dot on the top right of the screen. My high school is right on the water. It's pretty crazy.
Wow, that's awesome.
You'll be doing more boats.
Yeah, the wood shop's doing the boat, a plywood boat. But it's funny, yeah, the middle school is labeled, but the high school isn't. It's right by where that pond is. But I taught 2 years in Baldwin across the bay, and then I ended up hearing about this job from my best friend Ian, and I came here, and the metal shop, like 4 out of 5 of the lathes were broken, and a bunch of stuff was missing. The guy who was teaching it was welding everything with no gas on a MIG welder, so it just kind of like you pulled it apart, and nobody really cared about it. And then I got lucky enough. I got the job. I pretty much begged him to give it to me. I said I brought a whole folder with all the cars I'd worked on and everything. And
oh, that's cool.
And I got really lucky.
On the water.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
Let me guess, you flooded during
Yeah, so during Hurricane Sandy in 2012, my auto shop had 4 feet of water in it. And then
oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, and then our metal shop, because my auto shop is on like the ground level, but it's almost dug in. And then the metal shop is about it's 4 steps up. So figure, I don't know, 20 some odd inches. But
is that how it is now, where there's no bottom?
yeah. So I'm on the other side of what you're looking at here. Is where my shop is. It's down there. Yeah.
Dude,
so you can drive on the
property value for your school has to be insane.
Yeah, Long Beach is a crazy place. But yeah, we flooded and the machines were soaked and everything was broken. We had one of the security guards' cars on the lift. We were working on it, and that got flooded. And
oh my god!
So just wrote a ton of letters to like all the companies I could think of, and I ended up getting hooked up with a bunch of aerospace companies around us where we are here, kind of where the Islanders play. There's a huge industrial complex, and a lot of like machining and aerospace fabrication. So I sent this letter to this guy, Bob Zonick at Lyft, which is Long Island Foundation for Technology. And he just like put this thing out in a mass email. And I got so much support. People sending us donations. They donated materials. One company, Arkwin, who my father-in-law worked for, he sent us a ton of all new bearings to rebuild our lathes and sent a guy down to help us rebuild it. And so it was a lot of late nights and a lot of writing letters and begging for help. But we got the shops all back and everything back in order and really got it rebuilt. So now we're better than we were before. It was like
what was the acronym for Lyft?
It's Long Island Foundation for Technology. I don't even know if they're still around, but they helped us out huge back then.
Wow.
Yeah, it was that was a rough 2012, 13 was rough because we couldn't really work in the shop. So and the companies that came in were to clean weren't really doing the right thing. So we ended up, it was tough, but we got it. And we got back to building before the year was out. So it was good. Made us stronger. So.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah. Long Beach it looked like a war zone. Everybody's houses was on the side of the street and these big beach clubs as you're pulling into Long Beach and the parking lots were just temporary garbage fills. There was just hayloaders all day running with dump trucks, just bringing the whole contents of people's houses out and dumping them in this parking lot.
Oh my God.
It was rough. It was rough, but it's back better than it is now. All the houses got lift kits in Long Beach. So like, this way when the water comes in, they're fine. So,
wow,
yeah,
that's funny. Probably a lot of construction companies just specializing right in that. Just lift up the house, jack it up.
Yep. Yeah, they come in, they put them up on cribbing, and then they build the foundation. And it's got to sit for 30 days, and then they lower them back down. So everybody got nice built-in garages and first floor, I'm sure, with tile on them. So and there's probably no sheetrock, but yeah, a lot of tall houses in Long Beach now.
Huh? That's wild. Oh man, yeah, I remember that. We lost power for like a week. You must have lost power for a month.
We were out of school for I want to say a month. I'm out in Sayville on the east end I'm like halfway between the Montauk and Long Beach. And yeah, we had no power for a week.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm over in Englewood and but the school is a town called West New York, but we're like on top of a hill. We got nothing, but water does come in here a little bit because I'm in the basement, and we got a little garage door on the side, but it's got a little French drain and it seems to work. Sometimes the drains run backwards though. That's a bad day.
We used to get that too.
Wow, man, that's great that they helped you out.
It was awesome. It was really cool, and just they were surprised that we still ran a full machine shop. So we ended up feeding some kids into like apprentice programs with them, so that they could go to work, as machinists and hopefully keep some jobs in the industry because they just couldn't believe that we still taught that stuff.
So now let me ask you a question: what's the kind of the history of the shop there? Was there like an old timer there that that held his ground? Like, how did it survive the 90s? Everybody goes to college. Anyone using their hands is a bad person situation.
So there was this guy named Steve Broncatello who started there in 72. So the building was built in 72. Like my lathes were installed in 72, or our lathes were installed in 72. Like ancient stuff. And he started there. And then he retired right before I got there. And they ran through a couple people before I ended up getting a job. But this guy, Steve Broncatello, was a madman. He awesome guy. He had a radio show called Motor Mouth Radio where he just people would call in and he'd like answer questions, and he had a little like public broadcast TV show. Just like a really cool guy, and he's like a legendary guy. So like he could just deal with kids that no one else could deal with. So people loved him, and so he was able to like keep the shop down there because they were like, all right, well, we got to pay to do all this auto stuff, but this guy can deal with all these maniacs.
That's it.
We'll just leave him down there. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. And
Oh,
I guess he's probably not on the show. He retired. He moved to Reno, Nevada. He moved to. But he told me a story because I met him a bunch. He said they did like a 67 vet in the shop with the kids, and they get this thing all finished. He takes it out, and my school has like a bridge that goes over like the main area where they drop the buses off. That bridge takes you from the main school to the gym and the pool. And he goes to do a big burnout in his vet, and it hooks. And I don't know if he broke an axle or whatever, but the thing hooked right into the bike racks. Takes out all these kids' bikes, the bike racks. He just backed the vet back into the shop, and they fixed it. And he's like, I never really got in trouble for that. I'm like, I couldn't imagine, but he was a crazy guy, and he taught photography and automotive, and he's one of the best mechanics I've ever met. But a maniac.
That'd be a viral TikTok nowadays.
Yeah, there's no way. When I first started there, I was doing donuts in the parking lot with this go-kart that we built out of my old Yamaha Blaster, and I always think about this story and like how I think it's crazy. And then Steve told me this one. But anyway, I'm doing donuts, and then I see the union president drive by, and my principal and the superintendent and assistant. It was the district-wide safety meeting. I'm doing donuts in a parking lot with a bunch of kids on the go-kart, watching and laughing and cheering me on. It was pretty funny. That was my tenure speech, was that story by my principal at the time.
What was this guy's name?
Make an impression. That's the only thing you do.
Steve Broncatello was his name.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he's had some stories. He was a whack job. Good guy though. Great teacher.
That's amazing. It takes a guy like that.
Yeah.
Steve the Bronc.
Yeah, that's yep.
Oh,
everybody calls him Bronc.
I found it.
No way.
Yeah, dude. This is incredible. Look at this. The gears that turn the wheel. That is Ray Giarno. Although, okay. Oh, here we go. I guess you got to go down. Oh, I have to scroll through. Oh, I don't know. I guess they mentioned him somewhere in here.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, he was a cool dude. I never got to teach with him, but I got to meet him a bunch.
Yeah. No, it takes a guy like that. We had this guy, Mr. Canito. He's a legendary dude. Like he was made out of sandpaper, but he had a gushy center. And he taught for 41 years, man. He would have like chopped your head off. Like he used to he used to throw pieces of wood at people and call them candy asses. If you weren't working, he would be like, he would get you. Now you can't even like brush somebody wrong or something. So old school. But he was great. He's actually like a super nice guy. He's a big softie, but he was, he's hardcore because that's what it took back then. He started in the 60s. Jeez.
Different world.
Yeah, and a lot of our equipment during the 90s got decimated. They like tried to clean house. So what he did was he actually moved the equipment into closet space and hid it. And then when the scrappers came, which come on, they were just selling the equipment on the open market. They weren't scrapping anything. And what they would do is once they left, he would then push it back out, and he'd be like, "Oh, that was there the whole time," So he luckily saved a 1940s Sheldon lathe. He saved, like a 35 or 30-inch throat bandsaw, like an Oliver, a 127.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we got a great wood shop because of him. And the auto shop was really like, it was kind of like the sideshow for a while, and it became a parking lot a little bit, like it's kind of, so I have like, down there's the cars. We got a UTV in the shop right now. There's an electric car in there, and there's some metalwork and stuff. And then we got like, some miniature mills and whatnot. And so it became like a sideshow. And then when I got here, I was like, guys, you can't park here. I'm going to work on cars here. Yeah. And that was a ballsy move because I was nervous because I was new. So yeah, I had like asked them, and they 100% respected that I was going to do work. So they never parked here again, and I got my shop back, But that's what it takes. It takes these old guys to make it through, because I'm going to guess the town next to you does not have a shop. Am I right?
So it's funny that the town next to us, Oceanside, not exactly next to us, but the town in Oceanside is a good friend of mine. John teaches there, and another good friend of mine, Sean, who I went to high school with Sean. We went to college together. They ended up taking jobs there, and now they both work together. My buddy John is like unbelievable mechanic. He actually took first place, and I don't know if you guys read Hot Rod magazine, but Hot Rod Drag Week. He took first place in small block, no power adder, with a '68 Camaro that he drove all the way. Yeah, he's sick, and they just built the rat rod. And I don't know if you like, and their Instagram is OHS Tech Ed, and their car show is Sunday. I just laser cut a bunch of pictures for them. But so they have a wood shop, and they used to have an auto shop. And what they did was they built this rat rod, and it came out beautiful. They brought it to our car show, and they're kind of like trying to follow like the path, like just building things to show it off. And then this way they can, hopefully get their shop back.
That's great.
Yeah, so that's a 40 Ford cab, or Fords are like the same from 39, I think, to 47. So we built one years ago, and I was able to like kind of help them out. I mean, just give them ideas. They're both like amazing mechanics. They don't need my help, but I had just done it before, so it was cool to be able to help them. And then they came and used our lathe a couple times, and I offered them a plasma cutter if they needed it. But it's cool that like they're trying to do something like, and by establishing this and making it a part of the community, and everybody can see this car and hear it because it is open headers, loud, snotty little small block. But like it's good. Like they're building a program, so they're going to be able to. They'll be up where we are soon. Soon hopefully.
That's great.
Yeah, which is awesome. And they came to our car show, and a bunch of their kids came. So we're hoping to bring that red car, the 34, to their car show, and we'll bring kids down there. Like it'll be a nice way to kind of like, just bring these communities together, because there's not a lot of this opportunity for kids around, and it's good for them to, administrators and everybody to see it. Like, oh, like this kid's hands dirty all day, but look what he can do.
Yeah, you got to give them a chance. They got to give these kids a chance. And, what I say to some, people, obviously they're nervous about, kids using their hands, but, they make language a requirement, but, 3 dimensions is a language, and it's material. So like what I always say is you can't read how to ride a bicycle. You'd have to like be in the 3 dimensions. So even if you become like an office worker, how do you know what you're doing is actually working in the 3-dimensional world? Whether we like it or not, it's not a 2-dimensional world. It's a 3-dimensional world. So because of that, you got to get kids working with their hands, making stuff, and the creativity level goes way up, and participation, and you got a thing, like an actual thing, like this thing, and then people can actually gather around a mission. It looks great,
Yeah, it's nice to have something to show that you like, this is what we did, this is what we've been working on, and it's not just like this thing works, like we had to measure tolerances and we had to weld this together, and if that weld isn't bad, the motor's gonna fall out, and it's good to show like administrators who may not be like, in other words, in that mindset of what is shop class and what it should be. And it's good for them to see the results, so because they can't really argue with it. You know, like this excitement of these kids sharing it on their social media and talking about it, and maybe being late to class because they wanted to stay and hear that motor run finally. Like, it's a good thing, and it gives them like a lot of like, you know, it gives them a lot of self-worth, I think. Like I had this principal years ago, and I had to write this whole big email to him explaining exactly why we needed a metal shop and an auto shop in the high school. This guy got a flat tire the next Monday, and he called the assistant principal, and the assistant principal calls me, and he's like, is there a special tool to change the tire on the Mercedes? And I'm like, I know exactly what he's talking about. You got to screw like an eyelet into a little plate that comes out so you can jack the car. But I was like, I don't know. Tell him to read the directions. I'm not sure. So I see him in the hallway later. I'm like, hey, that's why we need a shop class, right? And he was just like, okay, you know, you got me. But that felt really good. That was a good one.
Hilarious. That's hilarious.
You have one of your kids pop his tire?
Yeah. Maybe, but he was all the way out on the highway when it happened. So but, yeah, that was
funny.
That's one of the highlights of my career was that situation.
Yeah, like for instance, like it's just application, right? So like you know, like for instance, if you got an English class where they're writing movies and they're actually filming the movies, and then the movie actually helps the community or whatever, or if they're writing books or something like that, or they're making a journal or something, great. It's the application. You know, you got to apply it, right? And you know, whereas like a lot of these classes have somehow either from the beginning or got worse over years, they just two-dimensional everything. Everything is paper, flat memorization, and the thing about that is obsolete. You don't need to do that. You could just, like, if you want to look up something, you just Google it. Like, you don't need memorization any longer. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. You know, what is a real thing is the application of 3 dimensions, you know?
Yeah. It's also using what you have around you. Like, let's face it, you're never not going to have a cell phone on you now. You know, that I don't think it's going to go back the other way. So like I buy these things for class. I have Blue drivers, and it's a really cool little thing. It's a dongle. It plugs into your OBD2 port. You download an app on your phone, and now you got a pretty decent scan tool. It's not as good as a Snap-on, but it's also not $5,000. And anybody can buy this and keep it in their glove box. And I show the kids, like, you use this program, and there's other ones out there like it, but all right, now you got your code. All right, let's look up the probable causes. You're right on Google. Now you can start figuring this out. And this $94 you just spent on this diagnostic tool could save you thousands, because now you know at least what it probably is causing the problem, instead of just going in blind to the mechanic. Like, you should take shop class even if you don't want to work on cars. It's just good to know how, you know, basically what's going on with it. It makes you a better consumer.
Totally. So sorry, I'm on the wrong spot here. Oh gosh. Okay. These are your classes right here. So which one's yours?
So I do automotive fundamentals, automotive systems, and then mechanics prep, which is vocational prep.
Where do you guys build the car, or is that an after-school program?
No, that's in our shop.
Okay.
So that's our auto shop. We got 2 lifts. It's a pretty big shop. I'd say it's probably like 40 by 60.
Oh, I mean, like, which class do you do it in?
Oh, all 3. So the fundamentals class, like, we learn the basics. The systems class is, so the fundamentals is the first half of the year for 1 period, and systems is like the counterpart to that, the second half of the year, second semester for 1 period. And then automotive mechanics is a 2-period class that runs a full year.
Oh, okay. It's a double.
Yeah. And then, so the kids who want to do the CTE credit can take that class 2 years in a row. We co-seat the second half of it. So it's, you know, in fundamentals, it's like, all right, how to fix your flat tire, how to change your oil. And then systems is, all right, we'll do some more electrical. But I try to incorporate a lot of fabrication and design. And like, we have this Torchmate now, this plasma cutter, and it's like, it honestly like just opens up so many doors. Like, I want to use it all the time, because I feel like we can build anything. Like,
That's awesome.
It's cool. And
I should get one of those.
You know, like, we can just like, all right, so like, we need this bracket. It'll take you forever to cut it up and drill it, but let's just draw it on a computer, and then we'll bring it into our, you know, then we'll just, you know, we'll weld it up and put it to work.
Yeah, that's cool. So
yeah, it's fun.
can you walk us through some of the other projects you guys have done?
Yeah, sure. If we could start at the beginning, wherever you want, really.
Yeah, okay, where do you want me to go?
Go all the way to the bottom. I started this page when we were building this truck here. You can go all the way down. This was a
Oh, hell yeah.
yeah, that's one of my my former students. I'm still in good contact with
Come on. Come on.
Tommy Greifenberger.
Arnold Schwarzenegger commando driving that thing down the hill. Come on.
That's the CUCV, the K or M1009 K5 Blazer military, big sloppy diesel in it. This kid,
Wow.
I had his older brother too. They were an awesome family. I'm still in contact with him. The father is owns a tree service. That kid with that Blazer fabricated a mount to change the intake on that truck. We made it out of styrofoam, cast it in our foundry out of aluminum.
Whoa.
And we turbocharged that truck in the classroom as our last project for the year. And he still has it. It still runs and drives.
What is this? Are you guys making silencers?
No, we built a drift trike, and those are the foot pegs for it. Yeah, it's funny. The kid working on the lathe there now, he does sheet metal welding. He's one of the hardest working kids I ever met. He was awesome. I showed him how to weld these floors into this truck that we were doing, and he just ran with it.
Wow.
Yeah, we did a radiator on a Jeep.
Wait, can you tell me more about the foam and cast it into aluminum? Is there any photos of that?
I don't think I have any up, but it's called the lost foam process. It is. We don't really do it anymore because there's a lot of chemicals released from it. But if you can make it out of like styrofoam, like insulation foam, you can shape it to whatever you want, and you can bury it in casting sand or green sand or Petrobond, I think they call it. And the aluminum will burn out the styrofoam and displace its cavity, and it comes back in whatever shape you put in there.
Wow.
Yeah. So once we cast it, it's a rough casting. We milled it, drilled it, tapped it, mounted it to the motor, and that allowed us to run a later model air horn on it so we could put the turbo into the truck.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It worked really well, and he still owns the truck, which is pretty cool. I gave him a set of axles a couple weeks ago for it. He's gonna put some bigger axles in it.
Okay. Cool.
But if you scroll up, there's a picture of some frame rails and an old cab. So this truck here, this started out. I had that cab. I bought it for like $40, probably like 15 years ago, and it sat in my backyard because I planned on building it. And I ended up just kind of putting money away for years because I wanted to try this project at school just to see if we could like make it happen. And we did it. We fabricated a whole frame from 2x4. That's the kids designed everything. It's an S10 rear, a Speedway front end, 2x4 frame. The kids welded everything, cut it all. We put a 5.3 liter LS in it.
What's a Speedway front end?
It's like it's a whole straight axle assembly that mimics a Model A's front suspension.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or they call it a suicide front end.
Oh, I got it.
I didn't call it that in class, but you get
okay.
the
I'm learning.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. It's too much. Like this. Front end. Not as fast because I don't have the two screens.
Yeah, it literally the exact same one.
Okay. It's a Model A.
Yeah, Model A. Yep. So transverse leaf spring, hairpins.
And it's suicide because if something goes wrong here, it's dropping to the ground and it's going to poke the ground and flip you over or something.
Yeah, yeah. There's nothing stopping that axle from coming at you. So
just the spring.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
But
cool.
So we built that. We did that pretty quickly, and then
how'd you keep it straight on the floor or something like that?
Well, we welded the two rails. We welded clamped together down on our table. So we knew that they were.
Amy's got a question.
Yeah.
You said Model A, so my little Model A antennas went up like this.
Yeah.
And no, I got a serious question. Like, are you doing all custom stuff, or are you doing like true restoration projects, or are you doing a hybrid? Like, how are you doing some of this stuff that with the students? I mean, I know a lot of this is just so custom that, the kids have to learn a little bit, then do it, and then go from there. So what route do you take?
Yeah, like what leads up to this? Is that what you mean, Timmy? Like, you can't just jump into this.
Right. It's like, are you running, like, are you doing, obviously I see you have like a rat rod here, so you're not doing a traditional restoration.
No. It depends on the vehicle. Like I was saying before, like I really try to put an emphasis on fabrication too. So like my theory is like nobody wants to be a mechanic because they like changing oil. Like, you want to be a mechanic because you like turning wrenches and making things and fixing things. So
that's a great one.
Like this truck, I was like, let's just design a hot rod. These are the pictures of the cars that I think are cool. Let's try and emulate that. And then I kind of like guide them into it. All right, we're gonna have to build a frame. So what do we need to know about a frame? Like I don't teach. It's hard to teach a whole entire like week's lesson on frames. I'd rather just be like, all right, this is our frame. This is what we're gonna do. And when we have other cars come in for our regular like maintenance things that we do as well, I'm like, all right, can you see how like this connects with what we're building? Like you see how the OEM manufacturer do it versus how we do it, but this is their reason, and why do we have to do it this way? How does this apply to us? So it's a big hybrid, really.
Are you doing any traditional restorations?
We did one. There's a blue Chevy K20. That's a 63 on the page. That truck was a student whose fathers passed away like suddenly, and we got the truck towed to the school. We raised a bunch of money, and LMC Truck Parts actually helped us out a lot. They sent us
that's a good place.
Free stuff, and we restored it. We did like a patina restoration. We put all new fenders, floors, rockers on it, and we just got it back to driving and running. And he still has it. And he's now a shop teacher. He just got his first job, and he's going to be teaching automotive. So it's kind of like cool that it comes full circle.
So, and then you do all your painting in house too?
If you look, like there's a Willys Jeep on here too. We painted that with Rust-Oleum outside in the parking lot, and yeah, I mean, a lot of times, like we do a lot of patina builds just because body work, a lot of chemicals and stuff like that. So we just try to like keep it simple. But if we spray outside. A lot of times we paint with a brush, believe it or not, and we wet sand everything and make it look old and beat up. But I wouldn't say everything is like a Concours restoration. But we try to make like functional vehicles that will, last for a long time and are built to a high quality. Like I want people to look at what my kids did and think, I can't believe a kid did that, So you kind of hold them to like that high standard, and it's pretty amazing what you get at, like what I can get out of them. When they care about it, it's cool. It's fun.
Are you interested in doing a 1928 four-door sedan?
I had somebody contact me about a Model A sedan from Long Beach a couple weeks ago after our car show. Right now we've got
I have one.
We got a big one coming.
I have one. I actually want a school to so that the kids can learn. I mean, and that's what it is.
Yeah, it's fun.
Like I wouldn't need any like mechanical stuff done. It would just be the body stuff.
Yeah, I don't like mixing Bondo in the room. Like as soon as I start a car up, someone's complaining about the smell.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I kind of think it's funny, but yeah. So it's like body work. Like we'll do a little bit, but I try to focus on mechanical and fabrication. Like next year, one of my best friends who was in my shop classes with me in high school, he's got this Jeep pickup truck thing, and we're gonna take it into school. And like, I really want to use the plasma cutter for all it's worth. So I want to build like a full engine cradle, monster truck style suspension, and just put this thing up on some like monster tires and build a big giant truck with the kids. I think that would be it would be hilarious and also pretty fun. So
yeah, I mean, like I said, I bought this car out in Hershey, and
yeah, that's the place.
And it's on my to-do list, and just I've contacted a bunch of schools, and nobody really wants to take it on because it'd be body work. It's body work. I mean, because of steel body and everything like that, and like the trim and the stuff, like the interior stuff. Like I wouldn't need that done. I would just literally need the couple of little bit rust repairs done and primer paint, sand.
Yeah, that's like a lot of BOCES programs out here do stuff like that, which is pretty cool. They kind of bring in people's cars and paint them up for them and stuff like that.
Give me a quote.
What's that?
Give him a quote.
Yeah, no, everything we do is free. People just got to pay for parts.
Look, I like this. I like that you did the bomber seat. I got a bomber seat too.
Yeah, that's beautiful. You did that with the Pullmax or with the bead roller?
Okay, now this is all bead roller and rivets and spot welder and the brake. Yeah, no Pullmax here.
Oh, that's
but
awesome.
We do have the Pullmax. Well, it's 90 degrees. So.
That's right. Tilt it back.
Yeah, exactly. But it's solid, man. It's solid.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Small. But the Pullmax, it's perfect. I got something right here. And I wish I could show you more. But we did one of those chain guards. And, the thing about the Pullmax, which is that it'll shrink so you can do a compound curve. And that really, and then we put the bead in as well.
That's awesome. We had one in college in Oswego.
Oh, you had a Pullmax there?
And when I was in college, like Biker Build-Off was real popular on TV, so it was a lot of English wheel and a lot of planishing hammer and Pullmax stuff. And I remember just playing with it. I was like, oh man, I could build like a chopper here. This is so cool.
Yeah. Oh, and I think.
Well, one of the guys I know from Oswego did build a chopper in the metal shop.
Casey? Oh no,
no, Buddy.
Yeah, Buddy Connolly.
Yeah. He taught at my district that I'm at.
Oh, really?
We convinced him to come up out of Florida. He was working down in Florida at a boatyard or whatever, and he taught for a couple of years here. And then now he's working for the local power company.
But yeah,
he's got a 3-bay shop. He's got a full wood shop, and he's got, I think, 2 lifts. He's a meticulous guy, as you know.
His buddy Joe, I forget his last name, but we did a bunch of work for this company I was working for on Joe's dad's fish store years ago. In a small world.
That's funny. It's the Pullmax is good, but it's kind of like a high skill situation. You have to like set up your tooling and whatnot, so it takes a while to build it up. But I guess you could do like a cookie cutter project just to get them started or whatever. But yeah, like doing like a full on fenders or something like that. I think you need kids you need that double period where the kids are super dedicated. Is that part 3? Or is that part, like, how many times did you have them before that? What level are they at?
So the auto mechanics is a 2-period class, and they can take that 2 years in a row. So that is like, it's the 3rd and 4th level.
Oh, that's really good. So and if someone took something before that, you might have a 3rd level person. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah. And so sometimes what we'll do is we'll have a kid like that who, like, we'll call it like advanced auto, and we'll co-seed it with one of the lower levels, and then they'll pretty much be like a TA with me and just kind of help me out in class, because like the 2-period may not have worked in their schedule, but they want to be down there. Yeah. So I try to work with kids like that. Because I think if they want to be down there, we should do everything we can to get them in there, because it's probably helping them somehow. So we should let them do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. That's pretty cool. Did you ever hear of Faye Butler?
I don't think so.
He teaches there's a lot of people that teach classes on this, but Faye Butler does like a real hardcore sheet metal class, and he kind of wrote the book on the Pullmax.
I heard of Vern Covell. I've seen a couple of
Ron Covell.
Ron Covell, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking Vern Tardell is a famous Model A hot rod builder. Similar name. That's I got.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ron Covell. Right.
So this is
I've heard of Faye. I've heard of Faye Butler.
yes.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's kind of like the guy. So I took a class with him a while back. Super nice guy. Super hardcore. Like, let me tell you how hardcore. When he does TIG welding, the table is a copper table because he doesn't want any impurities. His gas is filtered, so he doesn't trust the gas company. So it's on a different level what he's doing. But what's good is that he wrote out this book on doing a fender. He's also got a book on the Polmax specifically, and then he's got a book on planishing as well. So like, and it's all of it's like from a DIY bent.
Yeah.
Obviously, he works with the traditional machines, but it sort of wouldn't matter even if you made your own machine or something, Anyway, not that you're asking for this. It seems like you're into it. So I was like,
no, I mean, where would you even find a Polmax nowadays?
We pulled one out of a factory in, God, I think it was the Chicago area, 10 years ago when it was just getting popular, and we paid $3,000. Now that same Polmax, you could probably sell it for $12,000 or $15,000. The district doesn't know that. I don't tell them, but
yeah.
And I would like to buy it off of them if they, if I retire or something. But I try and use it. It's a little advanced. I'm waiting. I'm finally getting a level 3. But I don't think you need a Polmax. You just need some sort of hammer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I really think that this idea of having a Polmax, it's overdone. It's overdone. You don't need a Polmax. You need a hammer.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool.
You can make a hammer. You can make a hammer. Like, look at these guys here. This guy Proline. They're making hammers here. You see?
That's a nice machine too.
Yeah. And so, like, all right, yeah. So it's $7,500. Okay, but you can't even touch a Polmax for $7,500 now.
No, but something like that, like we could do what we needed to. Like that'll do what we needed to do.
Exactly.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I don't think you quite need exactly the traditional thing. I think I admittedly I was into it, and then I was like, oh wow, this is overkill. Because also, if you get your hands on a Polmax, buy it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't buy it for the school.
But like $3,000, like they'll spend $3,000 on a lunch table, like,
yeah.
And that'll be broken at the end of the year anyway. So
right, exactly, yeah, exactly. So and then there's other versions of it as well. So it doesn't matter. That's pretty cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Oh, let's go back to this. We were in the middle of going through the profile. So what else you got here?
Well, this was the truck. The rat rod. That was like not our first build, but it was the first one that I wanted to share on social media.
Upholstery too?
Yeah, we did that. Just boat vinyl and some foam.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. And then that thing was great. I had it for a couple of years, and then I ended up trading it for a 65 wagon because I had twins. So the rat rod is not really conducive to a family. So a 65 Chevy wagon was. So I got that and had that for a little while, and I sold that. Now I got a 72 K5 that this rat rod kind of led me into. But
what about the chassis VIN number? Like, what do you do with that? Like, was that an issue? Because it looks like you made a custom frame.
Yeah. So when I got that, I really just got a cab. And on these old Fords, the VIN number's on the frame. So if you get a cab, you're never getting that VIN number. So I had two options. I could either try to find a frame and cut the section out, or find a title. I was able to find the title, which it's not mine anymore, but it had a VIN number. That's all. That's what
Okay, yeah. Enough said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it ends up being a project you guys work on. You know, the kids get a chance to do it with you, and then you drive around for a bit. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I wanted to save it forever, but I love motorcycles, and my old house had a small garage, so we didn't really have room with that thing in there. So
Yeah.
and it had to be inside. If you left it outside, it would just turn to rust quick.
Yeah, totally. So what's this one?
This was a 63 K20, big 3/4 ton Chevy. This was my student Jack, who's now a auto shop teacher starting next year. But this is the one where his father passed away suddenly, so we ended up raising the money to fix the truck, and we gave it back to him, and he was able to drive it home at the end of the year and keep it.
Wow.
Without having to get rid of it. Yeah, it was his dad's truck, and they bought it as like a project. And
wow.
But yeah, he's an awesome kid. He's going to be a really good teacher, and he still has it, so it's pretty cool. Glad he got to keep it.
That's so cool.
Yeah, the motor had a cracked head in it, so I had another 6-cylinder engine. I just gave him. We put it in there, and it was a running, driving truck when we were done. It's pretty cool.
That is cool. And I see you got bikes too.
Yeah, this is a chopper that we had built. I bought it in the end of the summer just for something that we could work on, and I think we did this one in like 4 weeks. We did it really quick. But we took the bike to the homecoming party, and it literally like Greece. Like there's a big homecoming carnival and stuff. So we set up a booth. I think it's in one of the pictures with like a big backdrop of a road behind it, so people could sit on the chopper and take pictures. And it was good, like a good way to show off like what we're doing in the shop to the community. So that people got a kick out of it. It's pretty funny. Yeah, if you scroll up a little bit, you'll see it. Yeah, there you go, right in the middle. So, that's my auto club a couple years ago. They were a nice group of kids.
Oh man, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's incredible. You being a shop teacher, you basically get to just build stuff.
Yeah.
So,
This truck was pretty. It's a '39 Chevy. I got it for $500. It was a complete basket case, but we put it all together, and I told the kids you could drive it around just as a chassis because that's what they would do at the factories way back in the day, and they didn't believe me, so I drove it around the parking lot. Wow.
That's awesome.
But that truck gets parked on my front lawn every Christmas and decorated with lights and stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I still have this one.
Just like that.
Yeah, just like that. Yep.
That's funny.
So we did a lot of rust repair, but we painted that truck with brushes, and then I had them wet sand it to make it look old and beat up. And it's a great truck.
Jogging tool?
Yeah, just to put like a little lip so we could patch in the bottom of the doors.
Nice.
Yeah, custom made.
I like it.
Yeah, it worked pretty well. I mean, good enough for what we're trying to do with it.
That's cool. And then this is a great photo. Look at this.
Yeah, so one of our custodians is like a really good photographer, and he'll just go in the shop at night when he's cleaning up and take pictures and send them to me the next day. And he does such a beautiful job. Yeah, Franco, he hooks it up. He does a great job.
Kind of cool thing. Can you imagine like the janitors taking photos at night? It's kind of like he's like the guy from
Will Hunting. Yeah,
he's like a genius at night or something.
Yeah, he's a real good photographer.
That's funny.
That's Clifford, the big red truck.
That's probably a hit in Christmas time.
Yeah, so they do this big parade in Long Beach, and so we built a big ladder rack for it, and then we decorated with all the lights all over the truck, and ran a generator, and drove it in the Christmas parade. So it was like a real good way to like kind of I try to like always be real visual of what we're doing, so people think I'm not just getting paid to just sit around in there.
Yeah, totally. Oh, we got Mark Willies joining us. This is cool. What's up, Mark?
It's hump day. Sorry for joining late, y'all.
Oh, no worries. We're just talking about hot rods and stuff. This is cool stuff. Wow, look at that truck. That is great.
Yeah, that was fun. It so I never looked at the bolts that held the the bell housing to the transmission, and this thing, the clutch is just chattering like crazy, and it's a parade, so we're doing like 5 miles an hour, so I'm on and off the clutch, and the thing's just banging like crazy. I bring it into school on Monday, and I'm like, we got to look at this thing, and some farmer back in the day had put 3/8/16 bolts into half 13 holes.
Oh,
There's
wow.
so much crud in there that they just kind of stuck. So that's what the whole problem was. We put the right bolts in, and it's been good since.
Oh my God! So
Yeah.
it's probably. Oh, does it have indexing, or was it shattering like that, like chattering?
It was where the back of the bell housing bolts to the transmission was just loose. So the whole tranny was just bouncing all over the place.
Oh my God! Oh, there's your rack that you did. That's cool.
Yeah. And my friend who makes our t-shirts, he cut that out of vinyl, and then the kids painted it and we sanded it so it matched the rest of it. It just says Long Beach Shop Class Custom on it.
Yeah, I like that logo. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it so I can wear a different t-shirt from like our car shows for every year. So, so I try to do one every year.
That is cool. Yeah, let us know.
Yeah,
I'll buy one. I'll support. That's awesome.
We sell them out at the car show every year. It's pretty cool.
I gotta get out to your car show. That's cool.
Yeah.
Where did you get the fiberglass kit for this?
All right, so this is the car we just finished. Well, we're finishing. I just test drove it today for the first time.
Oh, wow.
A couple issues, but we'll get it right. So this car is owned by one of the heads of security at one of the elementary schools, and his son is also a cleaner in the district. So the owner is a retired police officer, really, really nice guy, and he asked me if I'd want to do this. And the story behind this is this was one of his good friend's cars. He bought the kit for it brand new in 1993.
Oh, wow.
And it's a classic motor carriages 34 Ford kit. And he ended up needing liver transplant. So he never touched the project again after like 1993. And it just sat. So then he was moving, and you know, the guy who owns it now, he was helping to move, and they're like, well, what are you gonna do with this car? And he's like, you want it, you can have it. So he gave it to him. And then he contacted me about building it, and just kind of worked out. So that company was actually, so they do like Porsche replicas now.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's it though. That's the exact car.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, there's a couple floating around Long Island, and I was able to talk to some of them at some car shows and just get some advice about building it and everything. And
what Eliminator?
Yeah, the Eliminator.
ZZ Top. Let's look at that for a second. Oh my God, there you go. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Mark, you were in that band for a little while. What happened?
After high school, they kicked me out.
You made it to the Enchantment Under the Sea dance, and then they booted you?
Yeah, they required everyone to have the Velcro fly, so we had to change.
Oh my God. Let's see. This is like the ultimate right here. I should get started. Oh, it's just music. Oh, it's not the video. How do I get to the video?
ZZ Top Legs. That's the one that it's in.
Oh.
It's definitely in legs.
Yeah, that's the one where he throws the keys.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
I didn't show the when we got the car there
because I'm in the district.
I didn't show him the video because I didn't think that would be a good idea.
Oh, is that why it's restricted? All right, you can imagine.
Yeah.
What's funny is it shows up restricted for the district, but I mean, this was on MTV in 1984, right?
Already been seen. It's out. Yeah, I guess
there wasn't whatever the parental discretion stamp even at this point.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Oh geez, whatever. That's hilarious.
So actually, the design, the body of your car is the same as the Eliminator. Is that right?
So the Eliminator is a 33. This is a 34. They're almost identical. Like really, really close. They're both suicide doors, 3-window coupes. But our car's all fiberglass with like a fabricated frame from this company. It's got Pinto running gear and a Ford, front suspension. The rear is a Ford Turbo Coupe. So it's a posi and a little bit stronger than your average little rear.
Beautiful.
It's fast. It's real fast because it weighs nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, boogies.
And Mark, they did engine turning on the firewall. Check it out. Pretty sweet.
Yeah, that worked out pretty well.
Firewall right here?
Yeah, so they make it like these little circles, and they call it engine turning. It takes time to do this.
Well, it's just what you would do with your die grinder, right? Or the random orbital, right? You just have to replicate it.
There's a couple ways to do it.
Yeah. Like when they do it in gold leaf, I think they do it with like a velvet, like looks like a little mushroom, and they just twist it. But with that, we use this it's like a 3M Scotch pad on a
I did a brush.
gasket remover.
Yeah, I've done format tables with that from the furniture side. I wouldn't never think of doing that in the auto industry. Holy cannoli.
Well, that's like I was saying before, like Charles Lindbergh's Spirit of St. Louis, the whole nose of that airplane was completely engine turned. Like a lot of old Porsches and just any old sports car, a lot of the dashboards are all engine turned. And it's just kind of cool. Like the kids think it's neat, and it's just another custom thing that we did. And the firewall had a bunch of really ugly holes in it because we had to move to make that LS motor work. We had to move the steering and move the brakes, so we had to make a cover for the firewall. Otherwise, it's going to look
okay.
weird.
I have a random question. The rear wheels, do you have to put like sandbags or like an added thing of plate steel just to add a little weight back there?
I mean, I haven't driven the car too much yet. I drove it around the block. We had a problem with the brakes that we fixed. So tomorrow I got to go in and test it, but it's supposed to rain, so I don't know. But if I mash the gas on this thing, it's light enough that it takes off, and the front end is light enough that it's not really kind of sinking. So it seems to hook pretty well, but I don't really have the carb dialed in yet. So
it's beautiful.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be a tire fryer though. So those white walls are not cheap. So it'll eat through them. I'm pretty sure pretty quickly.
Yeah, you want to take those off just for show and put drivers on for the rest of the time, right?
Yeah, because I warned him. I'm like, this car is going to be quick, and it's a posi, so
that'll tear it up.
Yeah.
I got some photos of an engine turning project we did, and I think it's a good one for the kids' concentration level. They do a really good job getting into it, So like we did this little speed controller mounting, and we just did a little aluminum box, and I was like, hey, if you're gonna do that, so I started playing around. We were also during I don't know, maybe Christmas time or something. I was making gifts and stuff as well, and I was like, hey, if you use the little wire brush, you can do a thing where you put these circles. So I spaced it out and then showed the kids how to do it, and then we set the whole thing up, and then I had this kid right here get really into it. I think he did it by eye. He just put the radiuses together.
Yeah.
But the Z was always the same, and then he overlapped them, but he pre-polished it. So like you can really get detailed about this,
And it's cool, like the reflection.
Yeah. So this is it polished.
Right.
And then he decided, he's like, okay, I'm going to place like a line here, and then I'm going to do a line there, and then you kind of, I guess that's I don't have a finished piece. Let me see. Oh, I don't have a finished photo of it. Oh, that's too bad. But yeah, anyway, you can get into it. So it's a real good one for kids to do. Oh, we like planned it out. We're like, okay, well, I'm like, how many lines are you going to do here? How many are you going to do here? We didn't go wall to wall. We kind of framed it a little.
That's cool.
Which is cool because it actually brings more definition in this case to the small format.
Because it's tiny. It was like, so, but that's it's a great thing you did, because that really, like, imagine you're looking at this wall, it draws your eye in. It's like, whoa, and then you realize it's not a pattern, it's the labor. Like, you're looking at the pattern of labor. So I think people grow an appreciation for that. So engine turning is like a thing. That's a good move.
Yeah, and like the little imperfections in it kind of make it cool, like it's like
That's a beautiful photo right there.
Yeah, totally.
Back in my bachelor days, I had a Harley Davidson half a bathroom with diamond plate wainscoting. I had a black toilet, but I had metal frame, like building, industrial framing, molding, and I did that to the molding with the wire wheel.
That's awesome.
That's the bathroom that Matt's doing in his master right now. That's the one he's working on.
Yeah, I'm sure Carmen would go for that. Hey, but I'm gonna have to roll. This is awesome, man. Like, I'm not a car guy, although I am a carpenter. Like, my students, we build a house together and stuff. So, awesome. If I had to teach auto, I'd be doing something like you do, because man, these restorations or builds are freaking awesome, man.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Hey, Matt, did you brag about what happened to your students last night?
No, yeah. So we can talk about this on another show or whatever, but before the end of the month. Yeah, our wall assembly is in the final 4.
Oh, cool! No way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. So Jim, I don't know if you follow, Build, Learn, Teach. That's Matt Bloomquist, and they build us, like, you're building a hot rod every year. They build a house every year.
That's awesome.
On site. And, I guess one of their walls made it to, like, there's a wall assembly kind of like contest. So that's
cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, man. That's awesome, man. So
that's really cool.
We should get an update. So is that the wall that's in your house now, Matt?
Yeah, we cemented the currently built wall.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it was
man.
tight, like from all it wasn't even like a full point from like first place to last place out of like the 10 teams or whatever. So it was crazy.
That's cool.
Cool, man.
But yeah, Jim, this is cool, man. Like I said, I'm cars intrigue me. I just don't know anything about them. But if I was teaching, I would definitely be going the way you're going, man. I'm all about the whole get the kids building, doing something, not just building sheds kind of thing, do something awesome. And yeah, this is cool.
No, that's so cool. I have a couple friends who teach construction, and like in the summers, I work as a carpenter on the weekends and in the summers, and like I've never had the opportunity to teach that. So I don't even know like how I'd go about it, but like just seeing kids learn how to do things like that is amazing, because like you can just walk out of your class and go make money. And like a lot of times in school, it's like walk out of the class, walk into another class. It's like, when you stop paying for school and start paying your bills, like if I can walk out of here and now I know how to frame a house, like even if you just walk onto a job site and show somebody you know how to lay out a wall, like they learn in your class, like that, you're already 10 legs up on the next kid who's staring at a cell phone, and that's awesome. Like it's so cool that we all get to do stuff like this. It's great.
Yeah, super lucky.
Yeah, we got a sweet gig.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I love it, man. I'm lucky.
But
hey, Jim,
all right, guys. Well, I got to roll. I got to get some things pulled together. I know I've been so busy with softball games and everything I got to go to every Wednesday. I've been bummed I haven't got to jump on as much as I wanted to, but
no worries. It's all good.
All right,
Matt.
See you guys.
Thanks a lot.
Good night.
Talk to you soon.
See you later. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
So if you take a look in this wall assembly, and man, like I'm a car guy, so I'm like, wall assemblies. What are we talking about? Are we talking about like race car walls, like the track? But I got into it because of these guys. and I lost where I was. Let me think. No, this ain't it. Where was the anyway, the wall assembly thing? Oh, here we go. Now, you know, this doesn't blow apart. You can't look at this. That's too bad. But Jim, you might want to look at these wall assemblies. Like, I don't know, what your latest as far as like, the newest tech and stuff. Like, they do some cool stuff. Like, they got this thing called a T-stud. It's a thermal break, which is my favorite thing to talk about. Basically, instead of like a regular stud, it's like a broken stud, so that you can so the thermals don't go across it.
Yeah, it's almost like a double wall.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, it's hard to see here though. Matt, are they? I mean, Mark, are they gonna show like an exploded view of this?
So it's almost like a truss.
It is exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's a 2x3, 2x4 with it. So would they be?
That's a 2x8 T stud, and the 2x4 or the 2x6 T stud is two 2x3s.
So and then I guess that would all be spray foam then, no?
You get spray foam with cellulose or blown in fiberglass.
That's awesome.
So
cool.
On the 21st, Matt is competing with a kid from Brooklyn who's a senior in high school, and his name is Dylan Ingwe. He won it last year as a junior in high school, and he's competing with kids in college and all that. And then there's two other one kid from Toronto who is one of Connor's students. You guys know Connor, and then I think someone from Arizona. So that's the 21st, 2 weeks from yesterday.
Okay.
It's in a tree.
Hey, Ron, I told you that Jim wasn't from California.
I know. I know.
Yeah, John.
You're 100% right.
This is sorry to interrupt. This is my buddy John. He's from Oceanside High School. They're having their car show on Sunday.
How's it going,
cool.
guys?
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. Just
What car? What car are you bringing on Sunday?
Well, I have a '69 Camaro drag car that I do drag week with, and we built with our shop kids. We actually copied from Jim. I've known Jim for 20 years now.
Yeah.
We went to college together, and we grew up pretty much the same. We have a lot of the same interests and everything. And he has a full auto shop, and he built a rat rod. We watched him, and I was like, man, we really should do this. And me and the other teachers that we work with, we all pulled together and said, let's do it. And we basically copied what Jim did because it was awesome. And we did a 47 Ford rat rod with a 327 small block 4-speed.
Yeah, we brought it up here.
Oh yeah.
We're looking at it.
So the kids did everything. Kids built the motor. We rebuilt the trans. They fabbed all the stuff, assembled the front end, calling Jim at all different hours of the night, like, oh, what'd you do for this? What'd you do for that? And so we're having our car show over in Oceanside on Sunday. Are you guys on Long Island? Is anything on Long Island?
I'm in New Jersey.
Your shirt is killing me. Long Island needs a drag strip.
That's right.
I used to have one.
We don't have a real drag strip on Long Island right now.
Oh,
so,
West Hampton's gone, long time. Man.
Yeah. So what they did was out in Calverton, where they have EPCAL, where the old testing facility was. Last year and this year, they had put an 8 mile temporary track, basically like a no prep deal, but tried to run as NHRA sanctioned as possible. But it's legitimate no prep. It's sick. It's no prep racing. So, but it's awesome.
I would take it through those tunnels. I heard on Friday nights you could drive anything through those tunnels.
You can try. Yeah.
Yo, I don't know how this happened. Mark is not from around. He was from Chicago. He comes through New York with like no plates and like a missing license or something. I don't know. He somehow brought a truck and trailer through the tunnel, got lost, turned around, BQE, Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, and did not get pulled over. The cop waved him through with no plates.
Unbelievable.
Middle of the night.
We've done that before. I did it with a 28-foot trailer. I coming home in the middle of the night. I went through what tunnel leads you up to the Freedom Towers?
Holland Tunnel?
I don't know. Either the Holland Tunnel. We went through a tunnel. I ended up in Manhattan with a 28-foot car trailer behind me. Looked at the Freedom Tower.
Brooklyn Battery Tunnel.
Yeah, just go. I'm going the wrong way on the Frank FDR, trying to get around to go around in a circle because I can't turn around with a 28-foot trailer behind me. So we just kept booking, going opposite ways, trying to get to the 59th Street Bridge to get back to the 495.
Oh my!
I was just waiting to get pulled over by the cop. I was going to be like, but I know Nick and Ron and Tim and Duke. It's fine, really.
Yeah, city cops don't care as much. It's out here they care. NYPD don't care. Like,
Too busy.
We got people running into the bridges on the Parkway
Yeah.
like every other day with trucks out here. It's crazy.
Oh my
They,
god!
they peel the whole top of like a rider truck back like a sardine can at least twice a week.
That's great. Oh my god!
Yeah.
That's so funny. Cool. And what's your Instagram again? Oceanside.
yeah, it's at OHS Tech Ed is the Instagram, and that's also the Twitter, I believe, too.
Oh, I got you.
You got Twitter?
Yeah, I don't.
Come on, who does Twitter anymore?
My administration like, oh, it'd be awesome if you had a Twitter. I'm like, all right, no problem. It's not as easy to use as Instagram.
Nah, Twitter's a different forum. That's for talking.
Yeah, Twitter is also at OHS Tech Ed as well. Same thing as our Instagram is at.
We
OHS.
got you right.
Yeah, the Instagram's easier for shop teachers.
Yeah.
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 But let's face it, Twitter is owned by a car guy.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Now it is. It's so funny.
Yeah, that's the if you go back, that's the 3 tech teachers that we built it with.
That's cool.
That's 3 of us. That's myself's on the right. Sean Michael, who actually went to high school with Jim and is a tech teacher as well, is on the
Wow.
And then the middle is PJ Orlando. He's new. He's 2 years into it. Just graduated from Oswego. Sean taught our advanced materials class, so it was really under his supervision that the car was built with the advanced materials kids. But all of us were helping because I was free at the end of the day, so I would be in there doing stuff with the kids.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's great that you got multiple shop teachers involved. You know, a lot of the stuff I do is kind of, just in a little bit of a silo. You know, I get the group of kids or whatever, because we got like a shop and then we got a wood shop. But things might change. There's some interesting things happening here soon, so we might do some bigger group projects. But that's great.
I have a question though. What is an advanced materials class? I never heard of that.
So we have the long and materials processing is actually the official class that New York State recognizes as a wood shop. Wood shop isn't like the official. Yeah. So I changed a lot around when I went to Oceanside because it was kind of program was dying and they allowed me revamp it. So I made a class instead of being called wood shop, I made it called materials processing. So we do woods, we do simple sheet metal boxes, spot welding, we make hammerheads out of bar stock and stuff like that. And then we started an advanced materials class. We did a full kitchen setup 3 years ago. We did a 13-foot hydroplane boat out of plywood. Last year we did 16 canoes, plywood stitch and glue canoes.
What?
Yeah.
When are you coming on the show?
Yeah, what the hell?
I didn't even know. I didn't even mean to interrupt. I'm sorry. I was just I was working at my house and I was just picking something up that Jim did for me, and I didn't want to interrupt him.
Keychains for the car show.
I didn't want
him on the laser cutter.
Yeah,
it's all good, man. This is good stuff we're trying to share here. How come that stuff's not on the Instagram?
The boat.
They just started this.
The Instagram is brand new this year, and the boat we did 2 years ago. Let me see if I could pop a picture up there. Is that Instagram live right now? Are you seeing everything on there?
Yeah.
Are you on? Yeah, you on it real time?
Yeah.
If you are, let me see if I can find a picture of the boat and I'll pop it up there.
Yeah, throw it on.
Yeah. We took the kids in the beginning of the school year. We took the kids to a trade show, and we brought the boat, the car, and what we had
that can you go back to the last photo, Ron? That was Nick in high school.
We posted that today because that's one of our best kids, and it's always the stories, the kids that people are always looking for and talking about instead of talking to are always with us. So
this is funny. He lit the place on fire 4 times.
There weren't even real fires. The table was smoldering one day.
Listen, he's making sparks. He's making progress.
I told you that was Nick in high school 4 times.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Did you see? Hold on. I gotta show you this one here.
Hey, I got a question for you guys, and either one of you can answer this. When you're doing these large scale projects, and you have your class of 15 kids or however many kids are in your class, how many are really truly engaged, and what are you doing with the kids that really want to have nothing to do with this project?
Well, I mean, at least I know in my class, like, not that I'm harassing them, but like, there's no way. Like, if you're gonna be, I'm not gonna leave you alone until either you get going or you you leave, because like I grew up working construction since I was young with my father, and like, if I wasn't working, I was getting screamed at, and I'm not gonna scream at anybody, but like, if you saw, this is an elective class. If you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here. Go take a study hall and stare at your phone. Don't come in here and drag the rest of us down with you staring at Twitter or whatever it is you're looking at, because there's so much opportunity here. There's a kid waiting to get in this class because it's full, and you're here just wasting our time. Like, I got kids begging me to come into class, but I already got 22 kids. And you're here, and I'll say that and as nice as I can and as honest as I can, but this is an elective class. You don't have to be here. So
yeah, we kind of do the same thing with us too. We have 2 periods of advanced materials this year, so we have an 8th and 9th period class. Our 8th period class has about 14-ish, maybe 12, 14 kids, and a few work and a few don't. They just walk around in circles. For the most part, they're not destructive, they're not rude. They don't want to do it. So you don't want to do it, you're just gonna mess something up. Leave it alone for the kid who is worried and just taking passion and heart to it. And our 9th period class is 18, and all 18 kids are working. I think there's one kid that's not working. He just walks around in circles.
Yeah.
But
at least he's walking around.
Yeah. But as all 18 are working for the most part in our 9th period class. I just uploaded 2 pictures of the boat on the Instagram. So if you refresh, you should be able to see them.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest problem I have is, like, you get them engaged in a project and then they're not working on what you want them to work on. Like, so say, for example, we were doing a couple years ago, we made these little model Jeeps, and, you can get so many kids involved, but sometimes you just can't get that, those last 2 kids engaged, and they just don't, like, I'm not doing this. I don't care. I hate this. And, you talk to them, you ask them questions, you try to get them engaged, you try to, invite them into work, and you do all that kind of stuff, and they still don't want to be engaged, especially with these larger projects where you need those extra set of hands. I was like, that's something that I'm having a hard time managing. So it seems like you're having some of the same issues that I have, just a little bit different.
I know, like, I try to tell the kids, like, all right, like, not everybody can be turning the wrenches all the time, but you should at least be able to explain to me what that person is doing. You're here to learn. You're not just here to watch. You're not here to stare at your phone. You can do that anywhere. This is an opportunity.
The biggest thing is the phones that kill us. But
the phones.
We have, because the way we have it structured a little differently. We have materials and then advanced materials. So we have to, like, actually recommend the kids to go to advanced. So our materials classes are basic intros. We show them how to use the tools and machines. We do our basic woods, simple metal projects. And you're going to weed the kids out there that have no business being in the shop or have no business wanting or desire to be in the shop. And then when it gets to advanced, you have, for the majority of the kids who want to do stuff, you get the lazy kid who just sits around in the corner. But we try to pair them together, put multiple kids. When we did the car, we had groups. So we had in the beginning of the year, we had a group on the body, a group on the chassis, a group on the engine, a group on the rear end. Then they were all split doing their individual tasks for the big picture.
Yeah. The other thing I think too, like, is the pandemic. Like, nothing's really counted for any of these kids for the last 3 years. Nothing's really mattered.
It's horrible.
So it's hard to, like, get them back from that. And
totally,
I don't know, like,
no, the pandemic was the worst. These kids are so lazy from the pandemic.
Yeah, because nothing mattered.
No, they don't get it. They don't.
Nah.
Then that's why I asked that question, because that's what I have. Like, you ask the kids, like, I was making these cornhole boards, and like you said, you want the kids engaged that are going to give you 95% of their attention to the project. you want that kid, and you don't want the kid that's just going to, give you the 5%.
Right.
So that's where I ended up being kind of getting stuck. So I handpicked a couple kids that I knew building these cornhole board projects. I made 20 cornhole boards, so it ended up being 10 sets, and it was me and probably about 5 kids that did it out of 2 classes, because like you said, the motivation is really, really low.
Yeah, we get that because in a couple of years ago, we did like book houses, the lending libraries for the district, and we didn't have advanced materials at that time. So we would just grab our couple of good kids, if they were like 5 a class or 4 a class, and put them on the big project and let them work on it that we trusted to do it. And then everybody else just did the shelf or the whatever we were doing, the toolbox at the time.
Bookshelf.
To learn how to use tools and machines to get the credit. But if they some kids just don't have, like, they take it because they think it's going to be easy. They take it because their guidance counselor honestly has no idea what we actually do. And they tell the kids, oh, you should try this, it'll be easy. And then they come to realize, like, oh man, there's accountability, I have to do something, I can't just sit here. And
I'm the non-teacher in the group, so it's probably better that I say this, but the guidance counselor says what the guidance counselor says because the guidance counselor couldn't teach your programs.
Right.
They have a skill set, and sitting at a desk is a skill set for some folks, but the ability to take the kids that show the initiative and take them through the learning of the material, even from all your different projects that I've seen, the understanding of the tool, the danger of the tool, and then the wonder of, I created this. That's an aspect that the certain kids are going to adapt to. And we all know the workforce is the same way. There's 10% where if they see someone do it, they say, I can do it better, right? If he did it, I can do it.
Totally. Yeah. I face the same thing, Tim, and you can't always do a project that's like
America flag idea.
Like unbelievable and stuff like that, where the kids are compelled. So something I do is I do small competitive projects, and then that leads into a bigger, more independent project. Otherwise it's pretty hard to get kids motivated on something because they don't have context, especially since COVID. Like you said, they're playing video games and they're home all the time, and then you're like, yo, what about this Ferrari? What about this thing? What about a thermal brake or whatever? And they're like, what does that have to do with video games? And you're like, nothing.
You gotta snap them out of it.
Yeah.
Like Jim said, I grew up working with my dad. I was just with my dad all night. We were doing molding at my house because I'm redoing my house, and I grew up building mini bikes in the garage and working on boats and going upstate and riding tractors. And these kids, I don't know, it's like this is a different world in life that they're in right now.
It's a weird time.
They don't have mini bikes, they don't have go-karts, they don't have dirt bikes. They're not like running dirt bikes up and down the road. Like I was doing all that stuff.
You do, like, I get them once in a while.
You get one or two.
A handful of them, like those motorized bicycle kits. Kids will come in and then, hey, can I put this together here? I'm like, all right, let me talk to your mom and dad. I'll make a phone call. Is it all right? Yeah, it's okay. He loves this stuff. Okay, and we'll do it. And it's funny to watch the other kids look at that kid and just be like, whoa, like I can't believe this kid can do that. Like he's allowed to do it, which is cool, but also like he's actually doing it. Like. There's something to be said for that. Like, even if maybe they're not all like that, most of those kids who are there are going to want to be that kid, want to do that stuff. Like, it's good. It's a good thing. Like, being a little wild when you're young and like, motors and dirt bikes. Like, I always had something that my parents didn't know about, and I was riding it around when, they weren't, or I kept it at a friend's house. But like, that's good. Those are the kids that usually do good in our classes. Like, you guys know. I mean,
Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you guys ran into the same problem, and I know I did at my school. Is like, so say a student took Woods 1, right, and they were quote unquote hybrid, or remote, whatever they were last year.
Yeah.
And
I
then
know.
they moved up to Woods 2. And now they're in Woods 2, but they have no experience.
Yeah.
So
And then
kind of.
what ended up happening was like, so now when I get them, because they had a different teacher, then I get them, and then I'm redoing all the safety again. And then now they get afraid because, wait a minute, this guy really wants me to use this, when last year I didn't have to.
I could do a current events article and get credit for the class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had hybrid last year. We had remote kids, but again, we didn't. Any kid that was remote last year that wanted to go into advanced materials, we told them no. Like you weren't in class, boss. You have to get the fundamentals first before you can jump with the big boys.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let us do that.
Yeah, we weren't able to do that either.
We kind of put our foot down. We have a very good boss. Our head of our department he's been there for 4 years. He's young. He's our age. He gets it. He understands. We're linked in with science. So we're science technology. He was a chem teacher, and now he's our department head. He's just a smart dude. He understands. He gets it. He leaves us alone. Like when we're like, hey, we're gonna build a boat. He's like, okay, I'm out of here. I don't want to know. And then we're like, yo. He's like, what's with the car on the ramp? I'm like, yo, we're gonna build a car next year. He goes, okay, and he just walks away. And
that's what you want, though.
Yeah, and he leaves us alone. He just leaves us alone. Yeah. We got a motorcycle. Somebody gave us a motorcycle. We're working on that. He walks in. He goes, "What's with the motorcycle?" I'm like, "Come on, man. I'm feeling
a stunt team."
Yeah, I'm feeling dangerous now. We're gonna do this.
My supervisor's the totally other side of the coin, and we've talked about this before on the podcast. Yeah. And it's just like, your boxes aren't in the right spot. You need to make sure these boxes are put here, and you're walking down the hallway the wrong way, and you didn't put the safety glasses back in the right position. And he's on all the time.
I have battles all the time. I get in trouble twice a year at least. I feel like if I'm not getting in trouble, I'm not doing it right.
Yeah. So. I had a boss this is a couple years ago, and she was science, and we just kind of kept getting lumped in with like these directors who really didn't really care at all about what we were doing. And I was telling her about this motorcycle project that I was trying to do with like the Wheels Through Time Museum, and they were going to allow us to restore a shovelhead for them. And I told her, and she's like, she didn't hear a single thing about like all the good opportunities. She's just like, well, motorcycles are dangerous. And I'm like, what is that? The kids aren't riding it. We're just building it. And so you get that. And then now
football's not dangerous. And
exactly.
What, ice hockey, what gymnastics or jumping off. So come on. Oh, a pole vault? Yeah. Stick the thing and flip over the thing. That's okay.
Gotta be the flying through the air.
Well, that's like the
sounds good though.
That's like the thing. We can't make a full-size baseball bat, but the kid can go buy a piece of 8-quarter mahogany, walk around the hallways with that, right, and bring it to class. But we can't make a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Oh, it's camera.
Oh yeah, you're purple now.
Camera's going out.
Oh yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
Nick, what happened?
Oh, there we go.
Hey, speaking of supervisors, I'm thinking about having a supervisor episode. I met some cool supervisors in the tech ed in New Jersey. I don't know if you guys have a tech ed association. It's not a union, but it's like the tech. Yeah. And what's that?
Long Island Technology Educators
Association.
Perfect. Yeah. So I went to one meeting, and I'm talking to all these people, and they're all like super enthusiastic, and they totally get it. And I was like, oh, cool. So what do you teach? Like Woods? And they're like, oh no, we're the supervisors. So I was like, wait, what? I couldn't believe that there were supervisors at these meetings, and they had taught shop before. So I'm like, all right, let's do this. So I'm going to set it up. I think coming up, and I think we got it. It's difficult. I'm with Tim on this. I have a supervisor that's very supportive, but also we do butt heads on things. That's nothing private. And, if he's listening to this, he knows that. And the thing is that I think we need to bridge the gap. It's the problem is if someone doesn't know they've never made anything, and if you got like a surface, he'll come in and say, can't you have a clean table? I'm like, well, it's not a library.
Yeah.
It's you want a library, it's not a library. If I clean the table, then what happens next? We're gonna put stuff on the table, we're gonna work on it. So it's just like, come on, so we gotta bridge the gap. I think it's really difficult if you have a full-on battle, which I've done in my career, that makes it really stressful, but you will make it through. Just never give up unless you plan on leaving or something. But think long term. Like you're kind of doing the battle for the next teacher. You might never see eye to eye with your supervisor, but if you save the equipment and you help the kids, you might make it better for the next person. And you'd be surprised how fast things happen. I can't say anything here yet, but things have, not for me, but there's some things that have changed here, and it's going to get interesting. So things flip pretty quick. So keep an open mind there, Timmy.
Are you thinking about bringing on like a whole bunch of different supervisors, or you're just gonna like pick one or two and then?
I don't know. What do you think? I was thinking about just bring them together, because it's kind of like, because they're not really, we can't highlight them. They're not doing projects in their classroom the way Jim is doing something, or, I'm sorry, what's your name again?
John,
Jim and John, they're doing stuff so you can talk about their highlighted projects, but with the supervisor, I guess you could, because the supervisor could talk about their program. I don't know. Maybe it's a Bridge the Gap episode.
Might be interesting to see their perspective on it.
Because I'm sure from their perspective, they're like, well, look, you got oil dripping into the hallway. I'm getting complaints about fuel spill on the other side of the school. At some point, we're gonna have a battle about it.
I had the car running today in the shop, and I'm like, it's an electric fuel pump because it's an LS motor, but it's got a carburetor on it. So there's no mechanical pump. So this pump runs a little bit higher pressure than what I think the carb needs. So it's running rich. You know how it is, like your eyes are burning, like you're coming down and like, why does it smell like gas? I'm like, because it's an auto shop. I don't know what to tell you. We're trying to get this thing fixed and running here.
Yeah.
Well, can you close the door? I'm like, no, because the car is running. It's got to stay open. I'm sorry.
Want us all to die?
Yeah, all the time.
Like that. Yeah, carbon monoxide. We can't have that.
Yeah, that's so.
What about what if you had that had principals? What were the people we were talking about? The
supervisors.
The supervisors, and then the other ones.
There's Tech Ed Association, and that's usually for teachers, but there's shop teachers that became supervisors and they're still in the Tech Ed, which is great.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Bring in a couple of those success stories. Like, Matt was on earlier. Matt's principal is all about his program, and he even made sure that Matt taught at the college so that kid could come and then join their program next year, right? There's all these loops of some people that are the success stories. So if you have those folks on, and then you turn around and you have all the actual teachers of these programs share that link to their school and say, they're doing it here, like they're doing it in Philadelphia. Why aren't we doing it in Jersey?
Yeah, Bridge the Gap episode for sure. How is it that you as a supervisor? Why do you understand this area? How do you make it work for your teachers? What are some of the things we could do to bridge this gap? Type of thing. Man, that would be so good. And then they could use it. Yeah, they should use it. And then we could pull clips out of it too, because 2 hours is hard to watch. Or I guess I'm going to put more of these onto the audio version so you can listen or whatever. The main thing is connect people. So I think, Tim, you brought up a good one. It's a hard nut to crack, because it's just, even if you got a good supervisor, next year you might not.
I think it's 7 or 8 I've had since I started teaching in 2005.
Wow. Okay. How many years are you teaching? 17.
Yeah, but I've only been in Long Beach for 15. So, and I've had 7 or 8 different supervisors since then.
One time I had no supervisor.
Yeah. And they forget about you.
I had that once.
They don't set up department meetings.
Yeah, I was like, All right.
That's the amazing thing about that is you think it's good, right? You're
It's
like,
not good.
yes, I have no supervisor.
Nah,
But it
nobody
actually
going to
is a
bathroom.
problem
yeah,
because
you need representation at
Yeah.
the higher level. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. One thing, like the problem is when I'll make a suggestion and it's brought me success, but the thing is, like, I don't recommend it for everyone. It's that it costs more time. I literally sometimes on my lunch break I go to the board of ed and I will make an appointment to present what our latest and greatest is. And while I'm there, be like, hey, can you move the order paperwork over the desk? Like so like because stuff gets stuck, and rather than complain about it, I go do something about it and I keep a relationship with them. I also email them once a month. I'm like, hey, this is our latest thing. And then sometimes I'll invite them into the shop. So like I keep a working relationship with them. And I think that is not in the job description, but you need it. Otherwise, you're going to bang heads, because here's the problem. If you're trying to, like, I don't know, this looks funny, but the glass ceiling, if you're like talking to one person about the problem, that one person, it looks like you're presenting the problem, but they could be ignoring you. And then you're just talking to no one. You know what I mean? Like you need to talk to the real person in charge of that decision. I don't know.
I think too, like, so like John's having his car show on Sunday. We just had ours 2 weeks ago at Long Beach. And then like every time we're working on something, like I call the local paper. I have them come down,
Bam.
talk to the kids, make sure like I don't want to be anywhere near the pictures. Nobody needs to look at my face. Like, but we get the kids on the district website, get the kids on in the paper, and make sure we're on the morning show. And like when you see like the Board of Education, like our main guy, I saw him the other day in Ohio. I was like, you got to come check out the car. I want you to hear how it sounds. It's running, and bring them down and just be visual instead of hiding. Because like we could probably skate through your whole career and just hide in the basement and nobody's ever looking at you, but you're not really going to get anywhere with that, because now people know who I am and what we're doing, and the rest of the guys in my department are the same way. They, we work our butts off to try and like put everything out there so everybody can see what we're doing and open the community up. Like when we do our car show, everybody comes in, take a tour of the metal shop, take a tour of the wood shop, look at our TV studio.
You gave out awards. It's your car show.
Yeah, that was our car show.
That's really cool idea.
So yeah, so
like Timmy, imagine if you had a wood turning event. Because I don't know if you know, but Tim's got like he's like legit wood turner. Like he's got these really awesome bowls that he does.
That's awesome.
Look at that, so cool, man.
I got another one I got to post. I haven't got that far yet. Last day of school.
Oh really?
Crisis mode.
Oh right, yeah.
Beautiful joinery on that stool. So that
Oh, dude, yeah, check it out. What he does here is so. I mean, there's no doubt about the work and the stuff that he makes and whatnot. But yeah, like it's just a difficult thing. I come across the same situation. You basically got to become your own PR department.
Yeah. It's like I do the robotics team. I don't know if any of you guys coach robotics. So like, you know how that is. This is our first year we were able to compete because we started in 2020. Pandemic. So we were supposed to go to Hofstra for our competition, which is the college near us. Everything got shut down. And then we competed the next year in a virtual one. And this is our first year to compete anyway. So we did really well. We ended up competing in a championship round. We got second place as an alternate, but we still got to compete. But like I had the kids, like we made a quick video. Send me all your pictures. We'll put a video together. This way, when we go to the Board of Education meeting, not only are we going to show them your medals, we'll take the robot, we'll drive it at the meeting, which is going to be crazy for them to see, but we'll drive it at the meeting. And they were like, well, all right, you guys did good this year. I'm so proud of you kids. Like, and I had the kids speak and they did great. And they're like, well, what do you need for next year? I'm like, we need a CNC router. And he's like, all right, we'll make it happen. But if we didn't go to that meeting and we didn't put the time in to like make it so it's visual, and, social media is amazing for that, as far as being able to show off what you're doing. I think that's a good thing for like, we have to.
Yeah, that's what we do. We do the same thing. We just social media. We send pictures to everybody. We like, hey, this is what we're doing. Check it out. We build sheds in our construction class and we raffle them off through our PTA. So we do like a split of the money, 50-50 basically. They get 50% for PTA. They give us 50% to buy materials for the shop. So we build those and raffle them off. We just try to get our name out there and just show everybody what's going on there. We put the kids' projects on display in the main hallway. We've been to the board meeting a couple of times. So the same thing as what Jim does. We just try to show it off. Just you know, this is what we're doing. You know, we're making noise. We're loud, but we're turning out some good stuff. We're fun, and just like there's a method to the madness behind what we do.
So I don't think you can be silent anymore. Like you can't just be the shop teacher that hides in the basement because they'll get rid of you.
Yeah, no, you got to be
indisposable. Like
I mean, I know in our district, they're actually looking to expand our program.
It's awesome.
Yeah, they're looking to give we don't have an auto shop, but they're looking to give us an auto shop and a lift. They're looking to make our wood shop bigger, and they're looking to move our engineering room down the hallway and build 2 brand new engineering rooms.
Nice.
So that's the end game.
That's great.
That's the thing with our field. It's growing so much. Like you can do the traditional wood shop, the auto shop, the old school stuff, because there's going to be a need for contractors and the trades. But then there's also stuff like the coding, the robotics, the drones, the CNC routers, the laser engravers that, you know, you need the technology end of it as well. So we are a growing field. You know, we need those teachers out there.
Yeah. We just hired a new kid for next year.
Oh, good.
It's gonna be split between the middle school and the high school.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, he was cool the first time I met him. He came to our car show at the high school. That was the first time I met him. And he's excited, man. He can't wait to get going.
You met him through your outreach through your high school
Well, they confirmed the hire. And my director is awesome. So he's like, why don't you come to the car show? It'd be a good way for you to meet the teachers. So he came and he helped out. It was really great. It was awesome.
We're sending 2 kids last week next year to become tech teachers.
I was saying we got 5 up there right now.
Dude, my biggest goal is to send 1 a year at least.
Yeah. Talk them into it.
This was the whole thing behind the Shop Class podcast. Connect everybody, share ideas. Otherwise, you're just working in a silo. Like, you know, you guys got the right ticket, you know, but there was a time where the shop teachers weren't talking to each other, only very locally. And that was the one thing I heard since the beginning when I first got started is that the Tech Ed Association meetings, you could it doesn't matter what year, it's the same story every single year. How are we going to get more shop teachers to fill the positions?
Yeah.
And how do we grow our programs and not get killed? You know, and I'm like, wow, this is the same conversation from 17 years ago.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I think we need to spread our wings a little wider than New Jersey. Let's learn about what's going on across the country, you know.
Well, and that's why this podcast made it so, I guess we made ourselves vocal because we were, you know, trying to do remote and hybrid and pandemic teaching. And it was like, hey, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing?
That was tough.
Horrible.
And it was like, oh, Ron did a project on how to melt ice the quickest. And I did a ABC book on tools. And like, we were all trying to share stuff with like what to do and how to do it. And, you know, you have a good article review that you do and somebody else has a good project that they've done. And we were just literally collaborating every Wednesday night. We were just like, I did this worked. I did this didn't work. And it was really, really beneficial. And I think that's what got us through the pandemic.
Oh
yeah. Luckily I have enough old vehicles around here that I like everything has something wrong with it at some, like all the time. There's always one thing. So I would just make videos. Like I got this chopper I built and like this thing's leaking from the head. What do you guys think it is? Look it up. It's an Evo motor. It's leaking from this part. I sprayed it with brake clean. It came back. What do you guys think it is? Tell me what you think.
That's cool.
And then
I still have that idea. I still have my project up for you to pick up over there. I'll drive it out, drop it off. You guys can start hammering on it.
We can do some body work.
What is it?
Model A.
Oh, Model A.
So
yeah.
We're gonna wrap it up here. I'm still at the school. I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, it's late.
This is back in the old days where, like, I never first 10 years I didn't leave the school. So now I'm like, I want to go home. But this is great. You guys are awesome, and I'm so glad, John, you joined in.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I didn't mean to step on Jim's feet. I'm sorry,
man. I told you to come in.
Double.
Yeah.
You got the double. And I'll try to make it out to see your shops at some point. That'd be pretty cool. And if you want to use that Polmax, dude, come here and run that thing. I will come in. I'll come in on a weekend if you want. If you want to run it, no problem.
We're building another chopper next year, so maybe make a fender for it.
Yeah, dude, that would be so cool. That would be especially a collaborative project would be pretty good.
Yeah, like what I did with your buddy. Those collaborative things are really cool.
It's a lot of fun,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, I'll get around to it, but if someone else needs it, you're like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah, these guys came and used my lathes a couple times, and
like I said, it was his idea. He did it first. I'm definitely paying homage to what he did. We were into the same things. I'm like, this is sick. We got to do it. And his phone was ringing constantly, like, yo, this is what we have. This is where we're at.
I borrow your trailer all the time.
Yeah,
drag home project cars.
Yeah,
so
he comes picks up the trailer. So is it trailer?
Awesome.
Yeah, come get it, man.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
It
Yeah, just come get it.
These guys are neighbors, man. This is like awesome.
Yeah, we're literally less than 3 miles away from each other.
It's funny. This is like the internet neighbors here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
All right, cool. All right, I'm going to kill the recording, and thanks a lot for joining in Shop Class Podcast.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Nice to meet you.
All right.